Right, you're watching this video because you're interested in protecting your financial position and protecting your family. And at Giraffe HQ, we've got a saying that says, every pound that is borrowed is a pound that needs protecting. The most important job that I have and my advisor team have here at Giraffe HQ is to get our clients to understand the devastating financial impact of a premature death in a family and a household, or a diagnosis of a critical illness, or long-term illness, and also redundancy is a fourth priority. I'm going to focus on life and critical illness cover today, and obviously you can get in touch if you have any specific questions about your scenario. I've been in this industry for nearly 20 years now, and it's very obvious to me as I get older and my clients get older that I'm dealing with a lot more life insurance and critical illness insurance claims today than I was 5 to 10 years ago. People often ring me up and ring my team up saying, I want to buy this house, I want this mortgage, I want this, I want that, I want my dream house. And when we love those conversations, we want to help people as much as we can to facilitate those things. Very rarely do people ring me up saying, today's the day, Stephen, I want to ensure that my family are protected if I die prematurely. But actually, when we're looking at the 4 priorities that you need to look at with regards to financial planning, protection absolutely needs to be the number 1 priority. So there's 4 things that we look at with people's finances. So there's making sure your debt, your mortgage, etc. is as cheap as it possibly can be and set up in the most suitable way for your needs. We look at protection. What happens if you die? What happens if you get cancer? What happens if you have a heart attack? What happens if you have long-term illness? What happens if you get made redundant? What's the plan? The average household in the United Kingdom has less than £1,000 in savings. Okay, so if that's you and you were unable to work or if you died, how many weeks or months would your family be able to live and cope with your commitments that you've currently got without your income coming in? You need to think about that. So we've got debt, protection. Everyone needs an emergency fund, savings of at least 3 times your essential monthly expenditure, ideally 5. And then you need to look at retirement as well. And we work with some great third-party experts with regards to pension advice and guidance in that area too. But in terms of protection, if you're living on your own and you're single, you may not have a need for life cover if you've got no dependents. But if you didn't die but you suffered from a critical illness, one of the first things I would ask you is how much savings have you got? And the second thing would be, what does your employer pay you if you're on sick for the long term? So employers are obliged in law to pay you statutory sick pay of £94 a week, currently in a few pence. If you work out what £94 a week is and then relate it to your monthly expenses, you'll see that it doesn't go very far. Some employers do pay as a discretionary benefit an amount above that for maybe 6 months, maybe longer, certainly no longer than 12 months. A lot of civil servants have 6 months full pay, 6 months half pay, and that's fine. But if you've been diagnosed with a critical illness, you are probably going to be off work for a lot longer than that. And if you have no benefits from your employer at all, you're going to have to find a way of working on your, living on your savings and your £94 a week statutory sick pay. Excuse me, which isn't straightforward. So we always recommend that you consider critical illness cover sufficient to cover all of your liabilities, pay your mortgage off, any of the debts that you've got, and a figure on top of that for lifestyle protection. We always recommend that you consider income protection, so that gives you, instead of a tax-free lump sum like critical illness cover, it would give you a monthly amount, a percentage of your annual salary, so that comes in on the drip month by month by month. And often people think that that's not needed, but if you're never able to work again and you get a lump sum and your mortgage is paid off, that's great. But if you're never able to work again, do you want to be on benefits for the rest of your life? And actually an income protection plan can really be the security blanket, if you like, that you need to be financially viable going forward. Because even if you aren't able to work again, you still want to have a life, you still want to go on holiday, you still want to see your friends, you want to keep in touch with family, etc. And if you're a property owner, you want to keep the roof over your head. So we always like to see our clients protected, so all the liabilities are paid off if they get a critical illness, via a lump sum, tax-free lump sum, and then an income protection policy as well. And we would link that into, if your employer pays you full pay for 3 months, then you go on to statutory sick pay. You want your income protection plan to pay you at the end of month 3. So you're not paying for something that wouldn't pay out in the event that you're off work sick, because if you receive full pay from your employer, there's no point setting up an income protection plan to cover that period because they wouldn't pay out. you want the deferred period, the period of time before they start making payments, to link up with when your pay period ends from your employer. If you've got dependents, a partner, a spouse, children, anyone who's financially dependent on you, then you need life cover as well. That's often the quickest fix, because life cover is the easiest to underwrite from an insurance company's point of view. So it's the cheapest as well. So life cover, critical illness cover, income protection. It may also be advisable to consider redundancy cover. I often think if you've got your health and you've got the right attitude and you've got transferable skills, you'd get another job. Maybe not on the same pay if you're made redundant from a particularly good job at this moment in time, but that would usually be the lowest priority. But in certain scenarios, if you work in an industry, I don't know, like printing or other industries that might be on the decline slightly because of the improvements in technology, then you might be more interested in redundancy cover. But certainly we would advocate having a chat with me or one of my advisor team here to understand your circumstances, because again, I've dealt with far too many claims of late. November 2017, I had a friend of mine die of bladder cancer in her 40s. Just this year, so April 2019 when we're filming this, I've had a client in January diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. They're in their 40s, and I've had a client diagnosed with a terminal brain tumour, and they're in their 40s as well, only in February. So, don't want to get too sort of tied up with that. It's not a great subject to talk about. No one's going to enjoy listening to this. But it's all very well taking out a mortgage and buying your dream home, but every pound that you borrow is a pound that needs protecting. And please do talk to us if you would like to know more about that, because we really want to help people protect themselves and their families as well as they can. Thank you.